Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Ida from Triosphere to the program today. How you doing, Ida?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Your band opened the day today down there at Prague Power 19 in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm hearing all things went pretty well.
Yeah, it was awesome. The venue looked full, so people definitely turned up early, which we of course are really happy about.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves up on stage.
Excellent. Now, is this your first time to America?
Yeah, well, this is our U.S. debut. We have been through U.S. before to play on the 70,000 tons, but that's out in international waters. So this is our U.S. debut, actually.
Okay, yeah, so technically on U.S. soil then. Well,
Absolutely.
welcome to America then.
Thank you very much.
I saw the pic that you put up on Facebook a few minutes ago, the crowd shot after the show with you guys on stage and everything, and you did. It looked like everybody had a pretty good time.
Yeah, we're very happy about that pic, and it really it gives a correct image of how we felt.
Yeah. Excellent. Now, with opening up the day and only having an hour to play, what's the band's approach to that? I mean, obviously you just want to go out and just hit everybody hard with the best material and everything. You know, am I correct in that?
Yeah, definitely. But we've done it's normally festivals we don't get much more than 45 minutes. So that we got 60 here.
Okay.
It was a pleasant and also we paid attention to how the festival has gone the previous days, and we've seen that the audience are really good at showing up for the opening band. So we were positive. Actually, in English that comes out wrong. We had high hopes.
Yeah, positive was good. Yeah, you went into it positive. Yeah.
Positive sounds like we were absolutely certain that people would turn up, but we were hoping that people would turn up. They did, and to have 60 minutes at a festival, we think that's actually quite awesome. Of course, it's really difficult to make all the choices on the songs we won't be playing, but we feel we put together a nice set. We asked all the attendees of the Prague Power a few weeks ago which songs they wanted to play, and we think we ended up with something everybody enjoyed.
Cool. Now, going into that, do they give you much time at all for like a sound check or anything like that?
Well, yes, we did have some time available, but it was most of the time just went to getting the monitoring right, and so we didn't have an actual sound check. But that's the way it is in festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mostly just get a line check, and you have to root for the best.
Okay.
We had good people behind both the sound engineering and the lighting, so it turned out quite well.
And that was going to be my next question, because I don't know a whole lot about how some of these festivals work. Do you get to use your own sound people, or is it a house sound person?
No, we do get to use our own.
Okay.
So if you don't bring your own, you can absolutely use the one on the house. But we have brought our own.
So really, your guys got to get you guys dialed in pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, it definitely helps.
Definitely. Well, I've got to admit, before Dustin pitched this interview with you to me, Triosphere hadn't really been on my registry a whole lot, which I'm almost embarrassed about because I like to keep up on bands and stuff like that. You guys are heavy. You're a heavy band.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. I often feel like we are perhaps way more melodic than many other of the big bands, but yeah, we like it heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I've caught myself up quickly since with everything and watching the videos and listening to the songs, and I have been like, how did this band get by me?
Well, I'm really happy that Justin put us on your radar. Well, it's a myriad of bands out there, so there's no wonder that you can't keep track of all. But that's the wonderful thing about being invited to do this kind of interview, that more people will hear about us. So they'll appreciate that a lot.
Absolutely. Because I was doing a little bit of look at the bio. You guys were formed in 2004. You and Marius started the band originally as a trio and added the second guitarist in 2006. And since then, the only lineup change has been when you changed drummers a few years ago. That's pretty rock solid for that amount of time.
Yeah, definitely. And that's I think that's been really important for us, because the whole playing in a band is so important for us. It's not about just making some music and releasing and doing some gigs. It's the whole band experience, being a family, you might say.
Yeah.
And just working together and hanging out and being on the road and having fun and all that it brings to be a band. I've always found it so strange to hear about the bands that say that we are playing together in spite of each other and not because of each other. Mm-hmm. So for me, Marius and I, we would never have put together a band where we didn't really love to play together, all of us. And I think that's also why we stuck together for so long. And our drummer, it's just a natural course in life. He came to a point where it was other things that now was more important. So we had a very, very nice split. We're really, really sad to see him go, but we were even more amazed to find a replacement that was just so totally perfect. And we love the new guy equally.
Why don't we? I don't trust myself with trying to pronounce some of these Norwegian names. Why don't you tell us who else is in the band along with you?
Yeah. Okay, so it's me, and as you just mentioned, Marius Silver Bergesen, or Bergesen when we do it like in English style, and we have the other guitarist. His name is Tor Ole Byberg, but that's a name that we find English-speaking people having great difficulties with. So we just called him T.O.
Okay.
When we were outside of Norway.
Yeah.
And the drummer, his first name is Kenneth, so that is, and his last name is Torneby, so there you have a Norwegian mess again.
Yeah.
But it's me, Marius, T.O., and Kenneth.
Excellent. Your last album came out in 2014. It's called Heart of the Matter. I see you've got a new album you're hoping to put out sometime next year. Are you currently working on it, or?
That is correct. So we really, in a perfect world, we should release an album every second year, but we have proved not to be able to make the albums that fast, and we've spent 4 years between each, and so we should have released it this year, but it will be next year. So
cool.
It's in the making. It will come.
So with taking the long periods of time, is this just because of like touring commitments, or you want to get everything perfect, or what? Why the length in time between the albums?
It's a combination of things. First of all, we all have full-time day jobs beside of the band.
Okay.
The band is our only occupation. Mm-hmm. So of course it's a challenge to make the hours in a day work to in all aspects you want to produce things. And of course, we definitely want to be out on the road as much as possible. So whenever we have tours and stuff, that takes a little time away. But most of all, we are very strict with the music we make. We would not like to release anything that we are less than really, really happy with.
Cool.
So we spend a lot of time on the arrangements, on the vocal lines, on the lyrics, and time is unfortunately not something we have too much of. So then again, things take time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, does Marius still do all the music, and you do the lyrics and the vocal parts?
Yes, that's right.
And then you two also produce as well.
Yes, for the last couple of albums, and especially the last one, we've taken quite much charge of the whole process.
Now, was that something you had any training in beforehand, or just something you've picked up along the way while you've been recording?
Uh, both, yes to both alternatives actually. We did have some experience with like Pro Tools. That's the software we're using, and of course when you're tracking for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And the whole process, you learn a lot along the way. You pick up tips here and there. So we knew fairly what we were doing in advance, and then we've learned so much along the way.
And plus, there's no one better to try and tell the sound that's in your heads than each other to do it, as far as trying to explain it to a third party who's producing. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. But actually, on the last album, when it was mixed by Jan Skogran, he did have some input that he could follow through in the mixing process. That made some small changes to the songs for the absolute better.
Right.
So there are, even though everything is recorded and all that, there are still some small rooms left for the mixing process to make some productional adjustments.
Sure. The first song I listened to you guys, I searched on YouTube and I came upon Marionette. The first thing I got to say is you have an incredibly powerful voice. The first person I thought of when I heard you start to sing was Doro. I saw that you met her a short time ago, which must have been a thrill.
Yes, definitely.
Was she a big influence on you?
Well, I have to honestly say that I think perhaps David Coverdale and Dio have been my greatest vocal influences. But of course, Doro, she is the metal queen. There have been a lot of awesome female musicians before her, but when I first started with metal, she was the unicorn.
Yeah.
in the whole scene, and she is so absolutely true to everything she does. She has a way of engaging with the audience, and she seems just so sincere. And so yeah, she is amazing, and she's meant a lot to me as a female metal musician, as a musician, and also for so many others in the scene. So she is amazing. She is the queen.
Did you take any vocal lessons or sing in a choir or chorus or anything before starting the band, or is this just something that you were naturally gifted with?
On high school, I went to a kind of high school where you have a lot of music lessons in addition to all the regular. What's the word? Mm-hmm. Yeah, in addition to the academic, yes, correct. Yeah. And one of those musical parts were to sing in a choir for the entire all the grades in high school. So there's been some training there to sing in a choir, but mostly I've just picked up the microphone and given it all I had. and of course you learn a lot along the way. Yeah, you learn to do your voice, and especially when we're out touring, and there's always good advice to pick up from other singers, because you're always 2 or 3 or 4 bands traveling together.
Yeah.
So.
And how about bass? How did you come into playing the bass?
That's well, I started playing guitar when I was 14, 15, and started my first band shortly after. And where I come from, up in my hometown, we rehearsed in a public basement, which housed 4, 5, 6, 7 other bands. And one day, one of those bands came into our rehearsal room and said that we need a bass player. Does anyone of you like to give it a try? Hell yeah, this sounds cool. I would love to try to play the bass. And shortly after that, I felt the bass was far more natural instrument for me than the guitar. It's just the position in the band, the interaction between bass and drums, just felt like home. So I've been playing since 1997.
Wow. That's what the next question I was going to ask. With fronting the band and the type of music that you guys play, this I'm going to call it a cross between melodic and power. I mean, it is just you've got some real heavy stuff there, and singing and everything. Is it difficult to keep in time with the drummer? I mean, adrenaline's got to kick in every once in a while or something. It must take a lot of discipline.
Yeah, well, I've always played and sung at the same time.
Okay.
So it's I actually feel that I get energy from the two different roles I have to do. I benefit on the bass playing by having to sing, and I benefit on the singing because having to play the bass. But of course, every time we start with a new song, I have to break everything down to small pieces and really program my head for what rhythmically is happening in my hands at the same time as what the voice is doing.
Yeah.
But as soon as I have cracked that code, it's just full pedal to the metal.
Absolutely.
But of course, adrenaline live and everything. That's always a bit of a challenge, because it's easy to overstrain because you get so excited. so that is something I think everybody has to work a bit on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, speaking as someone who doesn't play an instrument and attempts to sing every once in a while, but I'm quickly told by my wife that I can't carry a tune. I'm always amazed. I mean, I remember being at a Rush show one time and seeing Geddy Lee. I think he was singing, plucking his bass with one hand, playing a keyboard with the other, and then a pedal with his foot. And I'm thinking, does this guy have 5 brains or what? It's just.
Yeah. He's insane. He is insane.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do that. And also, I did for a very short period of time. I tried to learn how to play the drums. This was maybe when I was 17, 18 or something.
Yeah.
That is really your head has to be so many different places with the feet and the hands and keeping the rhythmic patterns and understanding how the whole thing is supposed to work in a good way. That was too much for me. So I'm in awe of all drummers. I think it's just mind blowing what they do. So I'm just happy to hang on the kick drum.
There we go. Yes. Going forward, did I see you guys have a European tour coming up this fall?
That is correct. We are in November heading out for a 2-week tour with Norwegian Sirenia.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Any plans of ever trying to come over to the States and hooking up together with anything? I mean, I know the cost and travel and everything's astronomical, but
yeah, it's been mainly a practical question. At least partly a practical question. But coming over to the States is something we have been wanting for quite some time, and we've been looking into some alternatives that hopefully. Wrong word. That unfortunately has not turned out yet. But we are continuously looking at possibilities to come and do, if not a whole tour, at least a few gigs in the U.S. Because we see that we get really well response from listeners over here, and would just love to come and play here more. So we're absolutely looking into the possibilities around playing and touring the U.S. So as soon as it's possible, we will be coming over.
Excellent. Talking with Ida from Triosphere here on Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. They played their first U.S. soil gig today down at Prog Power Fest 19 in Atlanta, Georgia, and had a really, really good time. New album hopefully coming out soon in the very near future. Ida, I always like to end up with some fun, silly questions. I'm hoping these are questions maybe you've never been asked before.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. What is your current cell phone ringtone?
It's just a standard one.
Standard one?
No, it's a standard. I found I think it's a regular ringtone. It's not fun at all.
Okay. A lot of people like to ask the first album somebody bought. What was the last album you bought? Last piece of music you bought?
Let's see. Does full downloading from Spotify count?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gary Burton, Departure.
Okay. Very cool. If you could blink and appear anywhere in the world, where would you like to be?
Iceland.
Iceland? All right. Would you rather have the power to be invisible or to read minds?
Read minds.
All right. Favorite toy growing up as a child?
A Care Bear.
A Care Bear? Okay. Very cool.
The green Care Bear with the clover on the tummy. Yeah.
All right. We'll keep you in the past for one more. If you could go back in time and eat one of your mom's home-cooked meals from your youth, what would you have her fix?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Okay.
That's my favorite this Friday.
Very cool. Last one, and this is the one we have the most fun with. If they were to make a movie of your life, what actress would you have play you in the movie?
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. I could see that. You two do kind of resemble each other a little bit. I could definitely see that.
No, I think he's quirky enough also to.
All right, well, Ida, it has been a true honor to be able to talk to you today here on Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Once again, Ida from Triosphere. Safe travels back to Norway, and have fun on that European tour. Anxious to hear the next album, and best of luck to everyone in Triosphere going forward.
Thank you so very much.
Take care.
Thank you.